Hello everyone, how's it going out there in YouTube land? Today is Monday, which is a day that I try to dedicate to a little bit of motivational ideas. So it's Motivational Monday, and I'm really excited today to talk about a creative topic that relates to me definitely, but I think will relate to a lot of other people out there. We're here at Together in Style, streaming live with a new technology that we've been working with. And we're a channel focused on creative living, art, photography, technology, lifestyle, and how it all kind of blends together creatively as well. So I'm excited to talk today a little bit about the concept of innovation and motivation and how they go together hand in hand. Now, myself, I am a multi-passionate person. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. And what I mean by that is that I have a lot of different interests going on in my career and in my life, artistically as well. I have a lot of things that I like to do, creatively speaking. And, you know, I want to take it beyond that, though. I want to talk a little bit about all the different things that I'm interested in, because it's not just an interest that I have a deep passion for a lot of different things in regards to creativity, to say the least. So I know that when I have a good idea, I am so guilty of just diving into that idea head first. I try to focus on it, learn as much as I possibly can about it. I read books, I start practicing it each day of my life, and I try to incorporate it somehow, because I find that a lot of times when I have a new idea, I want to find out if it is a viable idea. I want to find out if it can blend with other ideas that I have and kind of have some creative overlap. I think that is the key to innovation, and we'll talk just a little bit about that as well. Now, even though I have a lot of creativity in my life and a lot of different genres that I work within, I'm still remarkably productive. And I think that you can marry those. You can be both productive and have a lot of creative passion and things flowing. And what I mean by that is I'm able to still, even though I'm thinking about a lot of things, I can see things through. I can see what's in front of me, know what's important to me. I know what a deadline is, and I can follow through to fruition. And so that's an important skill set to have, to be able to balance those things and to be able to see things through. But you know, graduation happened in our town, high school graduation this past week. And I was kind of thinking about some of the students and the journey that they are going on, and some of the things that they are facing in this modern day and age. When it comes to the job market, it really also made me think about some of the things that I went through in high school or growing up into a creative career. Some things that were fantastic, but also some things that still kind of haunt me today as well in some weird sort of way. So I don't think that this talk is going to relate just to those who have graduated, but it will certainly pertain to anyone kind of seeking a job in the job market today. I know that there's a lot of college graduates that are now having to go out and get jobs, but I also have friends and other people that I know that are in their 30s, even 40s, beyond, seeking jobs, creative jobs to no avail. So I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. Now, you know, in this day and age, you can get a degree. I think that's incredibly important. I think it is a smart thing to do, to say the least, because it gives you options. But what I want to talk about today is beyond that. What are your interests in life? Are you truly interested in the topic that your degree declares that you are as a professional? Is it really an interest of yours? Let's go beyond that even. Are you really passionate about your degree and your career choice moving forward? Because, you know, I would argue that there's a big gap between being interested in something and being truly passionate about something that you want to do. Now, let's take just marketing as a particular example. I think that's an incredibly creative field. Certainly, there's a lot of marketing jobs out there. If you have a degree in marketing, are you passionate about marketing, or is it just something that something that you like, that's an idea? Because being interested in something is different. You know, I have a lot of different interests that I'm not passionate about. And when I'm interested in something, I think about it, but I don't necessarily take a boatload of action in the direction of just my interest. But my passions are completely the opposite of that. Passions excite your heart. They make your heart pound. They fill your soul. They spark your intellect. And you tend to want to dive in and practice it and focus on it and learn as much as you can, read as much as you can, and grow your capabilities in that area. And those compounded interest, that compounded work, the work that you do outside of school after you get your degree is what turns you from being somebody who's interested or passionate about something to someone who is actually considered an expert in that. And that's how you stand out both in the job market when you're out there trying to find the job of your dreams, but also in creative conversations as well. So just having a degree in your field certainly doesn't make you an expert. And it's important to start driving yourself forward. And I think when you're passionate about something, you're more apt to move in that direction creatively as well. So let's, again, talk about marketing. We could just as easily talk about education as a profession. Are you passionate about education, or are you interested in education? Are you passionate about photography, for instance? Or is photography an interest? I know if I have an interest in it, I might take some photographs and it's meaningful, so on and so forth. But if I'm passionate about it and I want to learn all I can, I dive in, I create assignments for myself, and it becomes the thing that I dedicate time to each and every day of my life. So again, bringing those compounded skills to market is how you're going to bring it to life. Marketing in this day and age, it's complicated. I get that. I mean, I'm running a photography studio that is successful. We're pushing the innovation of photography and video and things of that nature. There's a lot of noise out there, to say the least. Everybody's doing photography, no less. How do we cut through? I understand more than probably you know, or most people realize, just how complicated marketing can be. But I want to talk about that for a reason. Is your goal to, as a professional that has a degree, to go to work, kind of be taught what to do, told what to do, or are you seeking to be an innovator? Because if you're an innovator, you definitely will be focusing on it during your own personal time. Now, it's not your fault if that's not how you feel. I get that. I think the thing is, we're all kind of taught this throughout school as we grow up. A lot of parents kind of see things this way as well. And I know throughout my entire growth as a photographer, as an artist, I was told, you need to focus. You have to focus. Another great word would be to specialize in something specific. And I think that's a challenge for those of us that are very creative. We have parents or schools that will tell us it's unrealistic to live out our dreams, that we have to fail at living out our dreams in order to succeed, at putting a roof over our heads and having food to eat and having health insurance and all those things. And it's a bit of a lie, to say the least. I was very lucky in that I had parents that believed in the idea of creativity, pushing me in the direction of my dreams, probably harder than I even wanted them to. So I'm very lucky in that regard. But I know a lot of parents douse their kids' dreams in that regard, and I believe it's a mistake. The fact is, we as a people, as a society, we have to go to work. And we have to put a roof over our heads, get health insurance, do all the things that we have to do. But at the end of the day, besides our families and the people that we love, all that we really have is our work, because we dedicate so much of our lives to our work. So doesn't it make sense that we should at least be passionate about the work that we do in our lives? Let's take this as a picture. If you are a creative professional, what do you really want? I know a lot of people, friends, distant people that I know that want to be actors. I know some that are succeeding remarkably well at it. I know that from my perspective, is it an outlandish idea? I suppose it is. I think from a lot of parents' perspective, that's an outlandish idea. I know many parents who would douse their kids' dreams and tell them it is unrealistic. But it's only unrealistic if you believe it. For instance, if you are passionate about it, and you will make it. There is a difference between wanting to be an actor and being interested in being an actor and being passionate about acting, for instance. If you truly want to be an actor, you will be an actor. That's just the truth of the matter. If you'll be out proactive. You'll be that passionate person who's seeking casting calls every day and doing everything you can to figure it out. You'll be studying acting, you'll be practicing, you'll be focused on living your dream. I know that's what it took for me, photographically speaking. It took a massive amount of energy and time and dedication to go from being a photographer who used to clean restaurants in the middle of the night and walk across a set of railroad tracks in hopes that the phone would ring, and focus each day dedicated to learning as a professional photographer, creating assignments for myself, so on and so forth, to becoming a photographer that's won many of the most prestigious awards in the world, have lots of celebrity clients, including presidents of the United States and other countries. I've got this way through really having a passion and dedication for it, but also, most importantly, through innovation. And I want to talk about innovation and the creative lifestyle. Innovation is what happens when two amazingly creative ideas collide. And I say that's when it happens because we can all say there's nothing new under the sun, right? But in this technological age, there's lots new, because we have something that may not be necessarily new and something that is somewhat new, kind of colliding and making things happen. I know that I am constantly innovating as an entrepreneur, not just as a professional photographer. Certainly, we know that there are lots of professional photographers out there these days, but I have to innovate in order to stay on top of my field and in order to keep the ball moving forward. So let's talk about how I innovated in my own companies as an example. I've been a professional photographer for 20 plus years, but I saw that I needed to innovate beyond just still photography in order to enjoy the financial life that I lead now. So we started creating motion picture opportunities and video production opportunities for ourselves. And we tend to lead the way, utilizing the latest technologies. I'm always looking for the newest technologies to implement in my business and trying to find ways to creatively explore and expand. Now, I picked up painting just as a hobby about 7 years ago, give or take. Became addicted to the process, had a lot of fun with it. That is certainly interesting, but what is most interesting is I'm utilizing my skills as a photographer, knowing about fine art printing and digital printing processes. I would photograph my paintings. I would have those paintings printed onto creative fabrics, now sewn into fashions, and I have a little fashion line online as well right now. So I think innovation is what happens when we take ideas from here, here, and here, multi-passionate ideas, and force them to collide and find creative ways that they can collide. So I'm asking this: why, as parents, as educators, administrators, are we not praising students instead of dousing their dreams into dreaming, helping them find their dream, helping them find their way? I would argue that we should push people into the direction of their interest and their passions. And I would also argue that maybe we should be promoting the idea of the modern polymath, or Renaissance man or woman is another great word. A polymath is somebody who has wide-ranging knowledge or learning. Renaissance man or woman, somebody who's an expert in many areas. To me, I think in this day and age, this is incredibly important to be multi-passionate about the things that you're tackling, especially on the creative front. I know that there's a lot of people out there that are probably exactly like me, even though I rarely meet them. And I kind of did this for you because in my own growth, I found myself challenged by the idea of everybody telling me to focus on one specific thing. And then late in my career here, I'm starting to notice that I'm so glad that I didn't. I'm so glad that I kept the opportunities open to myself. Because if indeed great ideas or innovation is when great ideas collide, it only makes sense to me that you should explore all areas of your interest, all areas of your expertise moving forward. Creativity is a funny thing. We can be incredibly excited about creativity in one moment and then incredibly bored the next. I know as a creative person, it can be very challenging to remain motivated. I know boredom sneaks in once in a while, and that's why I try to keep on innovating and pushing forward. We're bored when we do the same things as creatives day in and day out. That's one of the reasons that I'm not so crazy about being necessarily a product photographer, but I love people photography because it seems to be a little bit different every day. Anytime you interact with people, it's just that much more interesting. Creatives tend to become more unmotivated when their art form isn't giving them any kind of financial return, certainly. Money is certainly a great financial motivator, and I think for companies out there, if they can find ways to give incentive for creativity and innovation, it's a great way to keep people on board and keep people pushing forward and innovating for your company. I know I'm bored, again, when there's no innovation in my own career. So if I was just focused on one specific thing, I know that it would lead to boredom. And so hence again, the creative, in my opinion, should be multifaceted, should be exploring new things. I'm motivated most when I have an incredible new idea, especially if that idea seems to have legs and has financial return or overlaps creatively with some of the other projects and passions that I have. So I know I'm motivated when I receive recognition for the work that I do, and I feel that it is something that people appreciate as well. So I would argue that motivation and innovation are two things that go hand in hand remarkably well. And I want to say to those that are multi-passionate, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. In fact, it may be your best asset at the end of the day. If motivation is what happens when two great ideas collide, I would think as a company it would be the smartest thing you can do to find at least a few people on your team that are multi-passionate, complex thinkers. Because complex thinkers that can see from the left and the right and the top and the bottom and find ways to meld things together are the innovators in your company. And to those who are overly focused at the moment, maybe it's time to grow your own personal value. Start embracing your dreams and not just focusing on your degree or the job that you're looking at. And invest, a focus on motivating yourself, a focus on innovating yourself is an investment in yourself, most importantly. So having multiple passions, I think, is an incredible thing to have. Motivation and innovation go hand in hand. And, if you're not able to find that dream job that you're looking for, when you think this way, certainly you develop the tools you need to go out and create your own job as a creative entrepreneur. So that is it for my Motivational Monday pitch and idea and talk. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I'm going to be focused on technology tomorrow, Tech Tuesday. And I'm going to be talking about live streaming. I think live streaming is going to be incredibly huge. It's already big. We know we can live stream to Facebook, YouTube, right from our cell phones. That's incredibly powerful. But we are remarkably excited about all the ways that we as a professional company can use live streaming to help other companies market themselves, bring more viewers to their event, and do all sorts of creative new things. So we look forward to sharing that information. I appreciate you guys being with me today, Motivation Monday, and I'm out. Have a great afternoon.